So, today we're going to talk about something that is both devastating and, believe it or not, completely solvable. Obstetric fistula. It's really a tale of two different worlds, one where this injury is just a footnote in medical history, and another where it's a tragic reality for women every single day. Let's get into it. And this slide, wow, it just captures those two worlds perfectly. Over on the left, you see the site of America's very first fistula hospital. It opened way back in 1855 in New York. And today, it's the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. The hospital is long gone, a relic of the past. But then you look to the right. That's the Addis Ababa Fistula Hospital in Ethiopia. It opened in 1974, and it is still treating over 1,000 women every single year. That contrast right there is the heart of this entire story. And when you look at the history, it's just wild. I mean, this isn't a new problem. We found evidence of fistula in Egyptian mummies from 1550 BC. We figured out how to surgically cure it back in the 1800s, and yet, here we are. In some places, the problem is solved. In others, it's like we're stuck in the past.
All right, so let's really dig in here. What exactly is this injury? And more importantly, why does it happen to some women and not others?
Okay, so here's the medical breakdown. An obstetric fistula is an internal hole, an injury that happens for one main reason: labor that goes on for way too long and is obstructed without any medical help. The pressure from the baby's head basically wears a hole between the birth canal and the bladder or rectum. This leads to a constant, uncontrollable leaking. And the key words here are prolonged and obstructed. This is not something that happens in a typical birth. So, who is most at risk? Well, this slide paints a very clear and frankly heartbreaking picture. We are often talking about a very young girl, sometimes a teenager, who lives in a poor, remote village. She's miles away from any kind of hospital or clinic, probably has little to no education, and this is almost always her very first time giving birth. It's just a perfect storm of vulnerability. And for these young women, the injury itself is just the beginning. The consequences, they go so far beyond the physical pain. It absolutely shatters their lives. Just let this number sink in for a minute. 3.8 days. Not hours, days. That is the average amount of time a woman is in agonizing labor before she develops a fistula. Can you even imagine that? Suffering for days on end with no medical help? And after all that, after days of excruciating pain, comes the first tragedy. In more than 93% of these cases, the baby doesn't make it. She endures all of that only to lose her child. But her ordeal is far from over. She survives, but she's left with this terrible incontinence. She can't control it, and because of the constant smell, she's pushed away by her family, by her village. It's often called a social death, because she basically becomes an outcast. And this just shows you how profound that isolation is. Because of the shame and just the misunderstanding around her condition, her own husband will often leave her. In Ethiopia, more than half are divorced or just deserted. And in some other places, that number shoots up to 90%. She is left completely and utterly alone. And really, this quote, it just says everything you need to know about the depth of their despair. After losing everything, their baby, their health, their community, many of these women just lose the will to live. They often wish they had died with the baby. Okay, but this is not where the story ends. It is not all despair. There is a path back. There is a cure, and it can literally give these women their lives back. And a huge part of that hope comes from places like the Addis Ababa Fistula Hospital. It was started by two doctors from Australia, Catherine and Reginald Hamlin. They basically dedicated their entire lives to treating these women who the world had completely forgotten. So how do they fix it? Well, it's surgery. Now, every case is different, but the basic idea is pretty straightforward. The surgeon goes in, carefully separates the tissues that have been damaged, and then meticulously sews up the hole layer by layer. Sometimes they even add a small tissue graft to make the repair stronger. It's incredibly delicate work, but it can mend a life. And get this, look at the success rate. At the hospital in Addis Ababa, 92% of these surgeries are successful. That is incredible. That means 9 out of every 10 women who make it through those doors can be cured. They can go home dry. They can get their lives back.
But, as amazing as this cure is, surgery is only treating the symptom, right? The real goal, the ultimate goal, has to be preventing this from ever happening in the first place. And this is the single most important thing to understand. Obstetric fistula isn't just a medical problem. It's a sign of something much bigger. Its very existence is proof that a health system has failed its women. It means they don't have access to the basic maternal care that could save both them and their babies.